I just left the gym and I'm getting ready to drive home, and when I opened the center console of my truck to get my keys out of it, I came across this. And this is my key to the Performance Center. And inside that sleeve is a picture of someone that I came to call a friend, certainly a mentor in a variety of different ways, not just to me, but to a million people in our industry, and obviously that's Dusty Rhodes. And I got this, I guess you'd call it a prayer card at Dusty's funeral, and it has a poem on the back of it. And it just reminds me of some of the things that I believe in. And I say it all the time on Twitter, and I type it, and sometimes I feel like I'm just typing words out into the ether, you know what I mean? And there's a couple of different things. One is work hard, treat people fairly, and earn respect. And the other is love somebody today. And I don't know why, but when I looked at this just now getting in the truck, it reminded me of my conviction in both of those sayings. So when you see me type them, it's not just something I'm putting out there for people to look at or to react to or whatever. These are things that I believe. These are tenets of my life. These are rules that I guide my journey by. And I feel like if you do the same for you, you can attain whatever you're looking to attain. And be that in wrestling or in life or whatever your vocation is, whatever you're trying to do. If you work hard every day and you treat people fairly every day and you do those two things often enough for long enough, you're going to earn respect. And on top of that, if you love somebody today, you're going to get that in return because you get what you give. Anyway, Dusty, I miss you. I thank you for everything you've done for me and for everybody else. And I'm just reminded of how great you are and how that inspires me to continue to walk in your enormous shadow. So again, it's Adam Pierce, and I'm leaving the gym, and I'm going to go home and love somebody today. Thanks.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Ask the Dads here across the Jeff Meacham multiverse of media.
I get a kick out of that shit every time. I really do.
It's great. I mean, it needs marketing. It needs a shirt, damn it. But
Well, it's got a graphic already. I'm working on the shirt as we speak, so there you go.
I am the Renegade, JJ Williams, representing the Casa D-18 Studios brand. Joining me as always, the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham of the Jeff Meacham Network.
It's kind of how that would work, generally speaking.
Yeah,
Jeff Meacham, Jeff Meacham Network. One would hope, right?
Hey, you never know.
That's right. It could
And
be.
apparently, Statboy is here to say hello
Stat-
to his internet fans.
Yeah, Statboy is here amongst the masses. So thank you, Statboy, for joining in on the shenanigans. Don't forget, you can catch Statboy on the Casa D-18 Studios too. I fucked up the promo already. All right, here we go.
Speaking of shenanigans,
Shenanigans.
Damn it.
Buy that shirt over at the Jeff Meacham Network Teespring store. It is still active. I just don't plug any shirts because I have enough shit to plug as it is. But I'm trying. I really am. So now that I botched the promo for
money.
That's right. Now I botched promo for Mikey. Let me try it one more time. You can catch Statboy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou exclusively on the Casa D Studios channel on Tuesdays and on the Jeff Meacham Network every Thursday. But Tuesdays you can catch it at, of course, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock for JJ, and all you Pacific Coast kids like me. Again, that's every Tuesday. Now that Statboy's back in action tomorrow, he's going to have, NFL preseason week 1 scores, his first round of, what's the term he uses? Power rankings. There it is. Had to have the brain kick in. And he'll have his shout out, of course, and he's going to be talking about more detail about the football squares game he's going to be conducting on Monday Night Football. Yes, sir.
How can you have power rankings in preseason? The season hasn't started yet.
This is Mikey. Is that your question?
Mikey is watching. He can put it in the comments. How do you have power rankings when there is no season yet?
There you go. Stuck in bed because COVID. Oh, Richard's got the Rona. Prayers for Richard. No, yeah. Rona bad. Rona bad. Rona's only good if it's Rona Barrett. Even then, WrestleMania 6 wasn't all that good. So, you know. If you know, you know, and I'm sorry you're that old. Like us. Rona Barrett was the gossip columnist before TMZ became a thing. Put it that way. I almost said Hedda Hopper, but I'm like, okay, now we're going back to Lucy before my ass was born.
That
so,
one I would have understood.
Hedda Hopper you would have got because she was on Lucy. We understand that reference. You know, Rhoda Bear, everybody's going, who the hell is Fat Man talking about now?
Right.
Watch WrestleMania 6. She's all over that damn show, whether we wanted her to be or not.
I don't remember her on that show, but I digress.
Yes.
Buy the t-shirt.
Buy that shirt too. Buy all the shirts we plug on the show. You can buy this one if you go to the old Jeff Meacham Spring Store. This is the OG one. Oh Lordy, let's see. Mikey says based off of their performance of Week 1, they are ranked. They're performing in preseason.
No Week 1. Week 1 doesn't start until the season starts.
It's Week 1 of preseason. It's Week 1 of preseason.
Okay.
Let me see
him put this much dedication and love into the NHL season. Then I'll give a damn about his preseason power rankings.
That's right. He actually did last year. We're actually talking about the NHL like pretty much now this time last year. There's just so much going on that the NHL is hard to keep track of as far as offseason because we're actually hearing about it more than we ever used to. Digress. Okay, so Mikey's keeping our digress count. We appreciate that. So we're at 1. Okay, that's good to know. We generally only keep the counts during open mic night. That's for the record, Mikey. We tend to do that during Monday night because James and Noah are on there, and it goes batshit. So, but yes, there has been an F-bomb today because I botched your promo, Mikey. So there, take that for what it's worth. Jay, you know we're halfway through August officially today. It is the 15th.
Yes.
For those of us that reflect upon history, you know, today, 18 years ago, which blows my damn mind that it was 18 years ago that this happened. But in Toronto, in the middle of the Air Canada Centre, a young man, just 24 years old, walked into that arena full of 18,000 or whatever it was people in those god-awful peach-ass tights of his, and found a replica, a different variation of the big gold belt laying in the middle of the ring and claimed it for his own. He was the youngest world's champion in WWE history. He still is. That man was Randall Keith Orton.
That's right. And now that you've laid out that entire diatribe, my dad's about to boo the shit out of him in the comments and crap all over Randy. But that's just one of those things, you know. You don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit in the wind, and my dad always talks shit about Randy Orton. It's just concrete fact.
Yeah. Well, but keep in mind, this was the same year that Randy's young back and the rest of his body were de-virginized to the thumbtacks of professional wrestling, courtesy of Mr. Bang Bang himself, Cactus Jack. So there was that going for him that year.
That's about all that was going for him in my dad's eyes.
Fair enough. And whether we want to ha-ha about it or not, he did beat a quality damn wrestler, Chris Benoit, that night for the world's title. So,
yes.
you know, I mean...
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And it's a favorite of mine. We know that. Yes. Could it be one of the things we're going to pick next week? You know, our top 10 SummerSlam title changes.
Yeah, that is coming up next week.
On Dad's next week. Could that be on one of, if not both of our lists?
If not, it'll definitely get an honorable mention because it is a damn good match and what should have been a more significant title change than it actually was.
Yeah, like Michael says, WWE totally botched that by giving it back to Hunter a month later.
We were in the reign of terror, kids. Benoit and Orton just had a momentary relief factor for us all. It was what it was. Even Goldberg's reign was shorter than, not shorter than Orton's, because that was, unfortunately, a month.
And HBK's.
Yeah. Sean's was a month. Well, I don't know exactly a month, but one pay-per-view to the next. How about that? I will say this, though. It's funny that happened on August 15th, because in 1996, on this day, Hogan retained...
Clearly?
What's that?
I see clearly.
No. Hogan retained over Flair via disqualification at the Clash of the Champions. And this is already Hogan's in NWO mode. Flair's the U.S. champion. But it was the last time the original Big Gold Belt was defended on a Clash. Because the next two clashes were world title match void. They had the NWO was involved in both those shows, but not Hogan in the ring as a participant. So today in history was the last time the Big Gold Belt was defended on a TBS Clash of the Champions broadcast. After the Clash had started with the Big Gold Belt being defended in the main event, Flair and Sting. So,
and Richard wasn't even born yet to make us feel even older.
Richard wasn't even born yet in 1996, or are you talking about 96, 2004? Either way, you're younger than us, and my spine curves evermore, as the Beast would say. If you know that reference, you're not quite so old, but you're old enough. Yeah. Let's see here. They really didn't botch it. I think Orton. You know what? I will co-sign with that. Orton. I think they elevated Orton because they saw a buzz after the feud with Mick. And you remember, he was Intercontinental Champion, retained the title, and I think that the reaction that he got against Edge in dropping the Intercontinental title, because the crowd was all over Edge, and didn't want Edge to be the champion, and they wanted Orton, but they went with the booking they had set up, and they went, this kid's got something, and you know how the old man was, react, okay, well, let's see. And then the people seemed not to have a powerful enough reaction for him, at least what I remember. So when he did get it in 2007 and had that night, that Odyssey night with Triple H 3 years later, he was ready, and the WWE Universe was ready for it too. because he came out of that No Mercy night just full of P&V and ready to strike at everybody. That was awesome. Okay, so 96. Okay, well, even
And
still,
Tim was a year old.
And Tim was a year old in 1990. Jesus Christ, we have children watching our show. I swear.
I turned 20 in 1996, Sonny.
Jesus, I only remember where I was in life in 96 because that's what, of course, when the NWO, really started. And I was on summer break in school in the middle of middle school. I was in between 7th and 8th grade. So when we came back to school that fall, we couldn't wear NWO black and white because we were in uniforms, but undershirts were a thing. And once the school bell rang, for life. Because that's how we rolled back then.
Probably would have been dress coded at Natalie's school.
Very low. Well, okay, we didn't peel them off right there on campus because we were young. We weren't quite so stupid. We would go off campus a little bit, head for the sub sandwich place and the lack of Starbucks, because Starbucks wasn't even a freaking thing back then. And all right, let's do this. Mike Caldwell, old man voice. What you say back in right. That's it. Both y'all were in. Was Mikey out of high school at that point? He turned 18.
We were both in college.
Yeah. Because Mikey's only a year younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking Teresa. I just out of her age. I'm in big trouble when I get up there next. I think. I didn't say the whole thing out loud, so we'll see. We'll see how much trouble I'm actually in. Hey, at least I grew up in tapes from Amazing. Yes, tapes are your friend. Oh, wrong one. There it is. On tapes, Amazing. Yeah, it's funny. I was going back and watching WrestleMania 4 as part of my. I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm happy much of the WrestleMania binge, and I had forgotten that WrestleMania 4 was the first 2 VHS Titanic style wrestling tape. Like, damn. Because the show was so damn long. Greg and I know we did a watch along of it. Graduated in 90. Oh, okay, there you go, 96. There you go. Jerry says, why does no one talk about Orton's military service? Because he went AWOL, and you know it, Jerry. Damn it. Oh, jeez. He's not a real American, brother.
I mention it every time I talk about him because I always mention how much you despise him because of that.
Yes, you do. You very much do.
I always, Roman Reigns, acknowledge Orton's lack of military service.
Yes. Oh, there we go. An actual question on Ask the Dads. Wow. Cool. Who had the more disappointing? I'd say Orton.
Edge.
Okay. What's your argument for Edge?
My argument for Edge is even more so than Orton. This is somebody that we, the fans, had seen scratch and claw his way to main event status. It had taken him 8 years almost to get to that threshold and cash in his briefcase and take the belt away from Cena, only to lose it back like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. It was so disappointing.
It very much was.
Orton was made too quickly, but I think his reign was longer than Edge's. Maybe not by much, maybe by only a few days.
Yeah, literally a few days,
But still, it was longer than Edge's, and he hadn't been going near as long.
Yeah.
Edge's victory was a Cinderella story. He vanquished the unbeatable.
He did.
And then lost it back just a couple of weeks later. That was cute. You thought you were going to be champion.
I will concede that disappointing, absolutely it was Edge's. I was phrasing it in my head differently because as far as impact overall in their career, Edge's was way more impactful than Orton's. Like Orton only had the world title reign defined in his career because he made the feud with Triple H out of it, right? But yeah, Edge had fought for so long. I remember that was one of the few times that I can call my ex on her bullshit about never having liked the business. Because she sat right next beside me and cried like a baby when he cashed in and won that championship. Because we were both so happy for him. And we were both at the damn show out in Palmdale supporting our boy Josh at an indie show and watching the Rumble inside that god-awful bar in Lancaster. Can't remember the name of the place, forgive me, but it's just such a... you talk about off the beaten path where y'all live now? Oh, no. This bar is in the middle of nowhere. Like, Lancaster's on the map. I will give it that. But you find me this bar. Anyway. And we're all just watching the screen going... Like, I was ready to destroy the bar right then and there. I was so mad. Because I was still not on the... I wasn't part of the C Nation yet, let's put it that way. I was very happy that Edge had become champion. And, of course, I was still unhappy about Rey Mysterio winning the Rumble because I was still very much, in the whole, why is Rey getting this? Oh, it's because of Eddie thing. And neither one of those were even the finish because he did the finish with Angle, retain the world title, and have the Undertaker, destroy the ring with his supernatural powers. It was a very strange Royal Rumble. People give that Rumble like all the praise, and it's like Edge lost, Ray won the Rumble, good, bad, and different. Now how I feel about it, and the night ended with supernatural Undertaker lightning bolting the ring. Very strange Rumble. Are we losing the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship? Oh, are we talking? Well, World Title reign encompasses the World Championships. I think that's what he meant. Because figure Edge's first was the WWE Championship and Orton's first was the World Championship. Now, if you want to go title by title, Orton's first WWE Championship reign was one match long. Really, when you think about it. But that run at the end after No Mercy was solid. Edge cashing in and winning the World Heavyweight Championship, he had to drop it due to injury and forfeit it, and that led to the Great Khali becoming champion. So that's the Bruno. We don't talk about those.
5 days longer Orton had the belt, thanks to Statboy doing his research.
Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate that. Yeah. 06 Rumble is overrated. Yeah, I agree. I really do. I think it is. It's like I said, I think the historical part of Rey Mysterio winning definitely has grown in my mind over the initial bitterness because of the whole using Eddie Guerrero part of it. But other than that, kind of, sort of. Let's see. Who would you guys say had the better first run as World WWE Champion? Cena or Batista? God, I mean, you figure they both ended within a day of each other. By complete happenstance, right? They started the same day, and they only ended the day apart because Dave got hurt. Because he tore his bicep. And had the Battle Royal on SmackDown. It's so weird how that shit worked out, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go first on this, and you can
please do
if you want.
Yes,
since I was there when both of them won their first title.
Very true. You were,
which granted went over like a fart in church.
As did the rest of the card after Angle Michaels, but
This might be controversial. I'm gonna say Batista.
I'm gonna say, especially from you, if you're gonna say Batista. Yeah,
had the better first run. And I say that because with Cena's first run came his draft to Raw. And that's when everything started to go south for him.
As far as fan support, yeah.
If Cena had stayed on SmackDown, I don't know if the fans would have soured on him as quickly. But you've got him on a show with Michaels, with Hunter, with Benoit, with all of this top-tier talent, and here's the action figure wannabe military guy with the 5 moves of doom. I'm not saying that Batista was a better wrestler, but post that Hell in a Cell with Triple H, and even after getting the belt, you really kind of felt the ground swell behind Big Dave as they had been the months prior leading up to the Chamber and him winning the opportunity at the Rumble, and who is he going to fight? Like you felt this groundswell of support behind Dave that never really stopped until he turned heel next. The fans were turning on Cena as soon as he got drafted.
Yeah,
which wasn't WWE's plan.
No.
Because clearly Cena is supposed to be the face of the company. He has not turned heel since he went babyface back in 2004.
Yep, that's true.
Aside from a few heelish promos, like when he was feuding with Rocky and whatever.
Right.
And he'd dust off basic thugonomics one more time to come out there.
Yep.
He never turned full-blown heel. And it's been almost 20 years.
God, it's crazy.
Batista, I'm not Big Dave's biggest fan, and it's been well documented that I turned my chair for that Mania match between the two of them.
Yes.
But as far as first run, I gotta say Batista had the better one. And Richard Morales agrees with me.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to be objective, obviously.
I know, but
you as well. So,
as a journalist, you have to be.
Well, but I never consider myself a journalist.
I know.
You know, well, I did. I don't.
I feel like when we do these type of shows, we kind of have to be. When we do the dads, we can be more subjective because it's our favorites.
Fair enough.
When someone asks us a question like this, we've got to try to be call it down the middle, not Nick Patrick it.
So Fonzie, got it. Okay, right down the middle, Daddy. God, okay. So up until the draft, I would have said John. Like you said, staying on SmackDown, because him and JBL's feud was damn good, more so post WrestleMania than prior to. Their I Quit match is the stuff of gore legends, right? Whereas Batista's continued program with Hunter was an even bigger fart in church than their Mania match. Just did not get any steam behind it until the Cell match. You figure the bigger Raw match at Backlash was Hogan with Shawn Michaels against Daivari and Hassan. That's very telling and a bad sign for Batista as world champion there. Then you get into June. They switch shows in front of me because I was at the Raw SmackDown Super Show where Batista joined SmackDown, and the crowd went over like Rover for it. And Dave kept on going, and he had a hell of a run on SmackDown and faced a variety of people, and I think that's part of why he got hurt, because he was running so hard. Whereas John, like you said, he was drafted the first week of June. By Vengeance, when he had the triple threat with Jericho and Christian, there was already a little bit of a bubbling of a problem. And then by SummerSlam, he was getting booed out of the damn building against Jericho. It was bad news. So, yeah, I will agree that based on crowd reaction and based on the feuds that both of them had and the resulting circumstances, yeah, Dave had a better first run, and that's very weird for me to say. But you're right.
It's very weird bizarre. For me too. Weird for me too.
What is the best finisher ever? We're going to do that one last. That's a mucker footer. Because
I already have my answer. I already have my answer, but I wanted you to go first because I've gotten first the last 2 times. So if you've got to table it till the end to have your answer, then that's fine.
And we've actually done a show about this in the archives, but we'll go ahead and not be complete shill assholes about it and actually give you an answer at the end of the show. But go back and watch that show, by the way. Is Bray Wyatt coming back to the Clash? If Bray Wyatt was to come back every time somebody asked if Bray Wyatt was coming back, he'd have been back 25 comebacks ago. Like, seriously, we don't know. I'd like to believe that when the Rotunda knows that even with Triple H at the head of creative, his presentation has been so muddled with that Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, the Eater of Worlds, all that shit is dead in the WWE Universe water. You can only come back from a crap presentation so many times. You know, Goldberg beating him was just horrible decision making. And then he came back and had that ridiculously good cinematic match with John. Not right after that. And it was funnier than hell. And it was entertaining. And then they built, and they built, and they built with him and Randy and Alexa getting involved. And then he loses to Randy because of Alexa. And the next night on Raw, we see Mr. Rogers Bray say everything's hunky-dory. And then poof, he's done. Bray Wyatt, I think, is done in WWE. I just... If Wyndham Rotunda were to do anything in wrestling, I think it'd have to be outside WWE at this point.
I don't know about Bray Wyatt. Like, I totally co-sign with everything Jeff's saying. I'm wondering why not just bring him in as Wyndham Rotundo and make your name off of your name at this point. Build your legacy off of and try to surpass, which shouldn't be damn difficult, your dad's legacy. Can we have a Rotunda versus Rhodes feud?
Hell, Dusty said for years and years and years that Barry Windham was the most gifted natural athlete he ever saw in the history of wrestling. Wonder how his son feels about that. Wonder how Cody feels about his dad saying that Barry was a more natural gifted athlete than his own boy. There's definite shit there if they want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we weren't thinking like that up until about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So, you know, creative sparks are a beautiful thing when they're allowed to be.
Exactly.
In terms of gimmicks, where would you rank Kane? For me, The Undertaker will always be the greatest of all time, not just character, but WWE superstar in general. Kane's right up there.
I was saying, if you're talking about an actual gimmick,
yeah,
Kane's got to be top 10, maybe even top 5.
Yeah.
Because you've got some great gimmicks that maybe weren't the best wrestlers, but the gimmick was amazing.
Yeah. Just saying. And I've heard the narrative said by both of them, and I don't disagree with it whatsoever. The Undertaker Kane storyline was the best story WWE ever told. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be a one-off, another monster to feed to the dark side. And both of them got a Hall of Fame career out of that story, Kane in particular.
Kane took a one-off gimmick and turned it into a 25-year career.
And propelled himself into another medium because of it.
Mm-hmm.
The dude's running a city or a county in Tennessee right now because of having been Kane for 25 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying that. Regardless of what you think of political stances or whatever, he is only in that spot because of his ability to be in the public eye for as long as he was because of the program with The Undertaker.
And the only other person I can really think of that did it as successfully is Jesse Ventura.
And even then, Jesse didn't get reelected. Glenn just did. So, you know, and Jesse was Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, didn't get reelected either. So, you know, he had one term of each, and then that was it. So, when you talk about multimedia success and success over more than one area of the world, be it entertainment, politics, whatever, Glenn is there because of his storyline with Mark Calloway. And yeah, so where does he rank? I agree with Jay. Definitely in the top 5 when you talk about gimmicks. Top 10 is definite. Top 5 is debatable. Discussion worthy.
Mm-hmm.
There's future dads in there somewhere, I'm sure. I think we already did that shit too. We've done everything in the business, right? Did it all. Got your money. Do more next week. What do we think about how Triple H is doing? It's early still.
I definitely think it's way too early to dive deep into this. But if we can maintain the course down the yellow brick road, I think we're on the right path. Triple H has done more in this past, we'll call it a month, than has been done in the last 5 to 10 years. Considering I wasn't watching when AJ debuted at the Rumble, the last holy shit moment for me was the Shield's debut.
Yeah.
After that was AJ's debut at the Rumble.
Yeah.
And what has there really been since then?
There's been big moments, but not holy shit moments.
Hunter has been delivering holy shit moments each week since taking over.
That's fair.
Just got to keep the path.
Yeah. BPC
everything is coming off as major holy shit moments right now because he's basically undoing everything that the regime prior had done.
Yeah, everything's off holy shit because everything before it was shit. They're trying to shovel the poop.
Now, in a year, 2 years, we'll have a little bit better idea of what the status quo is going to be.
Yeah. It was always discussed in WWE that WrestleMania is always the jumping off point and the end point. So we'll see where we're at after Hollywood. For sure. BPC77, both of your questions, the one about the finisher and the one you put up about Vincent Hogan, I have those starred. Because those are going to be needed to be sunk into. But we'll get there, I promise. Do we think Triple H will get Matt Cardona to come back? If you read that interview, the transcript of the interview, he said never say never, Matt did, but there's a lot of caveats that, I mean, he won't want to give up the podcast he has now, and he's one of those guys, I hate to compare anybody to this D-bag, but, you know, Matt's got the Joey Ryan thing going right now. He doesn't need WWE, he doesn't need Impact, doesn't need AW. He's perfectly fine going all over the place, and he's making bank off it without having to, you know, commit to being Zack Ryder, Broski, all the stuff he was doing with WWE, and still enjoying a very comfortable living.
See, and if they brought him back, would they bring him back as Zack Ryder, the Broski, and maybe team him with Bro Riddle?
Right.
Which would be funny for a cup of coffee.
Right.
Or would they let him be Matt Cardona? Like, he has been able to build this reputation and this name for him off of that name right there. You don't want to unlearn what you have learned. Yeah.
Seriously, Matt Cardona was the talk of wrestling Twitter last night because of the GCW show and the Thou renewal that got Maven back on a freaking wrestling card. Let's talk about that for a damn minute, right?
Love me some Maven.
Granted, he was the officiant, but still he was there. So, and of course it erupted into chaos because GCW, and that's what happens to GCW when Matt and Chelsea show up. But Nobody was talking about anything except the G1 yesterday and into this morning, except Matt Cardona. So would he get that kind of instant sustaining buzz as Zack Ryder? Woo woo woo? Don't think so. A mixture of the two that he's comfortable with? Possibly. But despite the narrative that's going around the internet wrestling community, Hunter's not going to bring every damn buddy back, y'all.
No.
A lot of those guys don't want to go back. Nor should they want to. They're perfectly fine where they are. Now, like you did talk about the other night on Mike Knight, Candace and Johnny, and Dexter and Indy and Theory getting back together, definitely see that happening. The Cardonas are doing great. The NWA, Chelsea is the Impact Knockouts Tag Champion with Deanna. Mike Knox has a job because of the Cardonas. Again. So, no reason to go back to WWE for them, for my money. I'd be shocked if it happened.
Still unemployed?
What's that?
But you know who's still unemployed?
Who's that?
Ryback.
That's right. Because Ryan Reeves is an asshole. All right, there we go.
Skippy Flyback, buy the shirt.
Buy that shirt if you can find it on my Teespring. I think it kind of fell down the thing there, but damn it. That's a Frank Meacham original, that is. And it should be sold to everybody. Let's see what we got here. There you go. Mikey's going to grab dinner and get ready for Raw. We're probably going to run into Raw tonight. So hopefully they don't start Raw with the U.S. title match, or the East Coast people are going to be mad at us.
You know what? I can't watch it till 8 o'clock anyway. It is.
That's right. Do we think Kane should have been world champion in 2003 late in the year after his mask came off?
Yes.
And he went full monster?
100 times over, yes.
You figure he was in the world title match in Armageddon with old Billy Boy and Hunter when Hunter got it back. Again.
Even if it had only been short term, yes. He deserved it after that.
How about Kane, instead of being in the Rumble, defending the world title of the 04 Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and Undertaker's gong still going off and costing him a win? And the title.
I think we even discussed that when we did our Kane show.
I think we did too. About
how did they not pull the trigger and give him a title run after that. What's up, Joe? Good evening to you too.
Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I'm slowly getting through the chats because all of a sudden we had a bunch of shit come in.
No, it's all good.
Let's see here.
Well, I've got the comments over on my end too. I can address stuff like that.
That's cool. Let's see. Okay, we're caught up on where I wanted to catch up on. Joe says good evening to. Twice. He liked it so much he said it twice, or probably on a different channel, I guess. All right. So the first question from BPC that we're going to address, because we were going to say the finisher for the finish, ironically enough. When I was growing up, watching wrestling, I idolized Hogan and Vince. Now I hate both of them. Well, all right then. What's the dad's opinion on Vince and Hogan? Here's where Connecticut implodes because of the dads not always on wrestling.
I am going to be as diplomatic as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And we may lose viewers as a result of this, but fuck it.
Yeah. At least two.
When it comes to Hogan and Vince, I take the Benoit stance on it. You can like what they did for the business without liking the individuals and what they did in their personal lives. Okay? Benoit had that horrid weekend in June.
Yep.
Unforgivable acts.
Yes.
But everything that happened in that 20x20 prior to that, both for WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, Japan, etc., should not be taken away for what he did for the business. You've got guys like Davey Richards, like Bryan Danielson, who grew up watching him and still idolize and emulate some of the things he did in the ring.
Yep.
You can like what Vince and Hogan did for the business. We discussed this on Open Mic Night. Professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it,
They are the same thing, folks.
would not exist in the form it is today, for better and for worse, without Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan. Period.
Yep.
Period.
Exactly.
And truth be told, if Vince McMahon had not pulled the trigger and taken over the Worldwide Wrestling Federation all those years ago and done what he did, there probably would be no pro wrestling to talk about. Period.
Especially on this level, on this scale.
Period. There would have been no WCW, there would have been no ECW, there would have been no TNA, there would have been no AEW, no Ring of Honor. None of that would have existed without Vince doing what he did and choosing Hulk Hogan to be his guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Period.
No, not at all.
So I understand why these days you may not like those individuals, especially with what's come out about both of them in recent years.
Right.
But you can't deny what they did for the business, and you have to respect them for it if you're going to call yourself a professional wrestling fan.
You said it, somebody, probably you on Open Mic Night. You don't have to like Terry Bollea to appreciate what Hulk Hogan did for the industry. You don't have to like anybody with the last name McMahon to appreciate what that family's done for the industry the last almost century now. If you go back to Vince's grandfather. I will always credit Hogan for cultivating my fandom and drawing me in with the bright colors and the presentation. I will always credit Vince for cultivating that presentation that cultivated my fandom. I can't ever deny that to anybody ever. It's out there for the world to hear. Shit. My kid and I did a watch along of the very first episode of Superstars that I ever saw. The very first person I ever saw, period. I'm wearing the damn Python Power bandana and my Meachamania shirt. I mean, I can't sit here and lie to the people and say that without both of them, I'm not sitting here having a shirt that says my name on it in the damn Hulk Hogan letters. I don't have an opportunity to go down to a casino on Thursday night and, have a presence at a show. Yes, it's my friend's band, but there's also the awareness of the fact that I do what I do, and there's synergy there. Without those two guys, I don't have that. Period.
I don't have t-shirts in my closet that say Renegade in a Rowdy Piper font.
Exactly. So
we don't own t-shirts that say DOW in a New World Order font.
Right. You don't have to like the individuals and their personal lives, whatever you want to believe. And again, the internet and dirt sheet and news sites are what they are, right? But if you don't acknowledge both of them and what they did for wrestling and and creating sports entertainment as a result of that involvement with wrestling, then you're lying to your damn self more than anything else. And that's just the long and short of it. For all the bad and the harm he's brought on wrestling, I'll tell you what, watching a clip of WrestleMania earlier today when Alexa was hosting in Jersey, and she wanted to create a WrestleMania moment, and she snapped her finger, and that opening, dan, you'd have thought 80,000 people had an orgasm together all at the same time. Every damn one of them popped. And that's less than 3 years ago.
I've told the story on the channel a few times. It's well documented. I'm not a Hogan fan.
No.
I never have been. I never will be.
Right.
But when his music hit at WrestleMania 21 to come out and save Eugene, I was in tears.
Oh, yeah.
I was wrapped up in the mania for that moment.
Yep.
And that's
Granted.
something that very few performers of any level of entertainment can accomplish. To pull that emotion out of you when you don't even like them.
Yep, exactly. Now, by comparison, as a Hulkamaniac for my entire life, when he came out of that Super Show and teamed with Cena and Shawn Michaels, I ran down the aisle like a blithering idiot because I could get about as close as I am to my TV now because he was right there. Boo-hoo like an idiot, having my buddy Stagger Lee make fun of my ass. Hey.
And I would have too, but you know.
You totally would have, and you know what? I'd have been like, you know what? I'll dry my tears and your laughter on my yellow and red shirt, you jerk. Because
only person on that team I would have been cheering for is Shawn Michaels.
At that point, accurate.
And you figure, I think that's the same night he super kicked Hogan.
A week later, but yeah.
Still.
No. Do you think? Okay. Do you think I would have? You would have heard my meltdown from where you was in Long Beach if Shawn had super kicked Hogan up in front of my ass. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I would still be in convulsions if I'd seen that shit live. I get convulsions watching that shit back now, almost 20 years later.
It's a better super kick than when he kicked Stan. But
this is not a arguable fact whatsoever. But still, he kicked Stan! Okay, anyway. Damn it. All right. I'm the same way with it. Yeah, Undertaker, you know, people were wrestling past his prime. You tell you what, man, you sit in that arena, that gong goes off every goddamn time. I don't have to be in the arena, the gong goes off.
And it doesn't even matter what version of his theme that it was.
Nope.
I was there for the American Badass. I was there for Rollin'. I was there for the traditional. And every time.
I was in Orlando, Florida in March. The sun had not even fully set yet. That gong goes off. Dad and I look at each other like freaking Foley and Percy. And we're up at the top of the stadium where heat rises, bitches. So you know that's some psychological shit. Okay? Just is. Oh, Lord. Thank you. Dude, I wish more people thought like Joe. Their personal business is none ya business. Exactly. Thank you. Preach it. Good Lord. Same experience I had with Cena. I didn't like Cena, but when he returned last year at Money in the Bank... Oh, dude! I was at home... I mean, I like John now, but yeah. So many people pop for that. People shit so bad on Brock Lesnar. But I'll tell you what, you had a stadium full of people going ape shit when he came out at SummerSlam last year after Roman had finished beating up John. So, all right. Here we go. We are down to less than 4 minutes left. Let's try to get our shit in here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. We have 10 minutes left. The clock's only on the thing because we did the early stuff. All right, 10 minutes to go, Jay. What's the best finisher ever? You said I'm going first, yes?
Yep, go for it.
Oh, God. There are so many great finishers that have been used by people that, you know, are in the Hall of Fame. My personal choice if I'm sitting here right now, I didn't even look at things up. I didn't go back and watch the old episode because I've been here with you all. Best finisher for me right here is whatever you want to call the variation of it, the diamond cutter or the RKO. I'm not talking about the ace crusher, the one where you kick first and then drop the stunner. It's a hell of a move. But the original ace crusher where you fall and you hit the RKO or the diamond cutter, because I think even Ace did it differently. And I'm praising Ace. Don't everybody have a spaz, please. It's okay. It's temporary. But yeah, DDP's Diamond Cutter or Randy Orton's RKO, depending on how you want to classify it. This is mine.
Okay. It's the answer I always give when I'm asked this question, and I see it posted in wrestling groups. For me, there's only one. And it comes from my brother, from a Canadian mother, the Canadian Destroyer.
Tell the finish.
I think Adam Cole calls it the Panama Sunrise. Same move, the Destroyer, though.
Yeah, Adam does it a little bit differently than PD did. I mean, as far as definitely set up differently. Way set up differently.
Yeah.
But same basic execution after the fact, yeah. That's a hell of an argument, and having seen it live more than once, it was definitely an experience because it's
having seen Goofs do it live
in
a park on grass.
I know.
It's a devastating move. Point blank, period.
Next week on Dads, the education of backyard wrestling, the good and the bads. Jeez. And BBC agrees with you. So there you go. The guy that asked the question agrees with you. So there you go.
At the end of the day, a pile driver is one of the most vicious moves there is. I mean, we know people that have suffered broken necks and stingers off of botched pile drivers.
What?
So to hit a flipping pile driver.
Yeah.
And then you figure the way PD sets it up. Yeah. The flair and the charisma, and reeling them in before he hits it.
Yeah. See, Adams is good. The Panama Sunrise is good, but the way PD always set that up always stood out to me. Absolutely. And if we're going with my finisher as far as the setup, Randy's has almost become a ha-ha at this point, right? Like, it's almost like, oh, here he's going to do the pound thing. DDP would literally have, RKO out of nowhere, even though he's sitting here doing this shit. DDP's was always out of nowhere. You never knew when that shit was going to hit. So that's why I tend to favor Dallas more than I do Randy's. And not just because he saved my ass more than once, legit. And he's hopefully going to start doing it again. Tombstone's a hard argument also. But, again, it's a pile driver variation. And, the Tombstone is definitely botched more than one career. Again, what? All right. Got what time? Best submission finisher. God. Crossface.
Yeah. I'd say either the Crossface or the Rings of Saturn.
Yeah. Rings of Saturn always looks so like, I mean, the Rings of Saturn is why D'Lo Brown wore a chest protector for 65 years. I mean, basically, that's what Severn did to him, was Rings of Saturn. So, yeah, I would say that's pretty devastating too. But long-term overall impact.
And then there's some people, who call it solitary confinement, who would hit the Rings of Saturn but lock the Crossface in also. Combine the two moves.
You're wrong for that. Oh. All right. It is time for promotional shenanigans.
Ooh, cattle mutilation. That's a damn good one too.
I was gonna say, but
leg submission. Sharpshooter's good. The figure four is good. Another really slept on one, the cloverleaf.
Yeah.
Especially these days, like the Texas cloverleaf is slept on for a leg submission. Yeah,
I think because Malenko's...
I know some people who called it unlucky.
Right.
Yeah.
I honestly think because Malenko's WWE run was what it was, people just forget that, prior to becoming a horseman, Malenko was locking people up for Cruiserweight Championships for 3 years with that damn thing. So, but again, sleep on that shit because, it was a horseman, and then he went and became James Bond and did stupid shit. No. This motherfucker was the best wrestler in the world. Legitimately the best wrestler in the world.
PWI 1997.
PWI even said so because they couldn't figure out overall. They went, all right, best tech guy, Malenko.
Period.
Oh, PWI's kayfabe. The whole damn thing's kayfabe. Shut up. Yeah. It's all work. The world's a stage. We just perform on it. All right.
So,
if you missed this guy prior to us coming on today, first of all, shame on you. Yeah. But hey, there is still time on demand.
Go back and check it out. Fat Albert kicking off Keenan and Kel week this week on Renegade's Reviews. Kenan Thompson as the title character. So good.
Let's see. Oh, sorry, I had a little botch there. Tomorrow, JJ is back with us first before I am, so.
I'm not sure if I'll be on tomorrow or not. Yeah, but you can check out on the Casa D-18 Studios channel, Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou. Come on in. The conversation is good. The beer is ice cold. The food is hot, and the bar stools are warm.
And the Jello's jiggling. Oh wait, no, sorry, wrong show. Anyway, talk wrestling, of course. Every Tuesday after NXT, or 10:05-ish. We'll say that, and then you're back on Wednesday.
Yes, I am back, continuing Keenan and Kel week with the two of them together in Good Burger. It's a 90s classic. I mean, you can't help but chuckle and smile watching Good Burger. And I even integrated the footage I shot from the locations that I visited of Good Burger and Mondo Burger into the episode. So you're going to have to check that out.
Good stuff. And, of course, you can catch Greg and I after that at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific with The Greg Cherry Show each and every Wednesday night on both channels. Thursday is big.
For a multitude of reasons.
Here's the third one of the day. I fuck up on my bookings. Completely botched the fact that I was going to be part of this and agreed to be part of this. Which, of course, episode 200 of the Nerdy Q review. Any of our shows on the Nerdy Q side getting to episode 200 is awesome. XMV only ever hit 100. Talk Wrestling, I think, hit 100 before I left Nerdy Q the first time. Maybe more than that. So, yeah, it did. It definitely did. Because we were episode 100 before we were HD. So, yeah. But 200, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome. JJ will be a part of that. They're going to rotate. Going to have that ever-present revolving door of the panelists because they want to try to get everybody's shit in on that show.
Going to be a roulette wheel. Spin the wheel, make a deal. You never know who's going to come in and win.
Except me, and I feel bad. I will have a presence on the show. I don't know if I asked Aaron to play what I'm going to send in at the start of the show because I will be. At the time the show starts, I'll be already at the casino. The doors open at 6 at the Commerce Casino Thursday night for Paradise Kitty as part of KLOS's summer concert series. If you're a Angelino, you know what KLOS is. They are the rock station of rock stations out here these days and have been for years. Let's not kid ourselves. And they are the solo act on this bill. They've been getting commercial time on KLOS. They're at the Commerce Casino, which is a legendary place out here in SoCal. Marquez is running there this weekend for synergy purposes, right? I'm going to be, if I see Dave there, I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit.
I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be able to attend that. Even with 200 being a thing, like I was still going to try and attend. I was still going to try and, via satellite into 200, but just
yes.
Finances are what they are right now with having recently moved, and gas money is
I was going to say, even the free ticket, man, gas and food's a mucker for there, and food there is not cheap. I'll tell you what, I'm going on liquid diet because that's going to be a bitch of a night otherwise. I will say this, though. For everybody out there that's in the Nerdy Q Galaxy as well as a fan of our stuff, please go watch this. Give it a like. Give it the channel subscribe. Aaron has taken what could have been a very unfortunate circumstance with he and I falling out all those years ago, and continue to build this channel, continue to add amazing personalities to it beyond he and I and our other co-hosts from back in the day, and it's just branched out so far, brought JJ into the fold, brought all the other amazing people that we have on the shows now. So I will definitely be at least trying to watch prior to the 7:30 start time for the band, because once Guns N' Roses starts, there is no volume control on my headset. So I will be watching till then. But yeah, check them out. And then you are back to finish out Keenan and Kel Week on Friday.
That's right. We'll be doing Kel's, to date, I think one of his only movies without Keenan.
Yeah.
Mystery Men. Him alongside Ben Stiller. You got William H. Macy. You got Hank Azaria, Janine Garofalo, Paul Rubens, Jeffrey Rush, the Goody Mob, for those of you that are into hip-hop music. You know, the band that CeeLo Green was in before he went solo. You've got Praz from the Fugees is in it.
Yep.
So much good stuff going on in that movie. Matt, we are doing well, but you are late to the party, unfortunately, as we are Brian Caging it and getting our shit in so the East Coasters can go and watch Monday Night Rollins.
Yes. And, you know, it's funny. We were talking about Mystery Man the other night. I was mentioning that it was Paul Rubens' first major post-Pee-wee role. Batman Returns was a year after Pee-wee fell apart, so that was my bad.
Well, but to be fair, he was a very small role in Batman Returns.
Yeah, small role in Batman.
Buffy, he was definitely a bigger presence, but I feel like you were actually kind of on the nail there, because by Mystery Men, I feel like his presence was even bigger than it was in Buffy. Yeah,
you figure it was 7 years before he felt comfortable enough to do really something major, because the fallout from the incident at the theater was so tough on him. So
Batman and Buffy came out at a time right after everything, and he kind of had that fuck you mentality.
Right.
I'm gonna keep on pushing, but then he let everything simmer.
Yep.
Changed up a little bit, and then came Mystery Men.
Yeah. And now here we are, you know, Pee-wee's a freaking another empire again. So good on him, man.
As it should be.
Yes. Now, Saturday, as you do, is New Release Saturday.
That's right. I'm going to be talking about Bullet Train, Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Aaron Taylor Johnson is in it, Bad Bunny is in it. There's so many people in it. Half of them I'm not even sure, because I haven't even got to see it yet. I'm looking to see it tomorrow, actually. In the middle of trying to make some money. So,
check that out on Saturday night, of course, we will be here for open mic night. I did mention, I don't know if I mentioned on the air or not last week or last Saturday, that we're going to be moving it to Fridays. That is very tentative still because of other scheduling conflicts I forgot about in the process of having the euphoria of moving the shows. So we will keep you all posted, but definitely this Saturday and every Saturday in August, because we ain't got shit going on in August pay-per-view wise. Ain't nothing going on. So
not until NWA's double night.
Yeah, it occurred to me as we were talking with the kiddo and then talking with y'all, NWA is back-to-back nights the last weekend of August, and then Labor Day has back-to-back days too. Just determined to kill us with it, you know, giving us 4 weeks off and then just so.
I feel for Noah, because you know he's the one that always does the prediction shows, and he's going to be doing some kind of prediction, something probably every day of the week, both of those weeks, talking about NWA, Clash, and All Out.
God, hardest working man in wrestling.
Then he's going to be doing commentary, calling the action, all four of those nights for the Jeff Meacham multiverse of media.
Maybe Clash. We still haven't talked about that yet, because Clash is not early, but it's early for our audience. So we'll see if that actually happens. I would like to have Clash presented, but I know it's early for people to wake up on Saturday.
I'm looking to do Clash. I
know you are. Well, we'll get it all worked out by Labor Day weekend.
Take away my damn WWE calls, Meacham.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to work with everybody. And then,
And then
speaking of
Sunday-
WWE, it's the War Zone.
Sunday, of course, the War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, where I talk about the newest additions to my ever-growing movie library.
Yes, sir.
And then on Monday,
yeah, buddy, Monday.
it will be my birthday.
Yeah. And I just realized the time's wrong.
Of course it is, Meacham.
Great freaking graphic, and we even commented how good the graphic looked, and then I botched the time. That's at 2 p.m. is Power Rangers. Son of a bitch.
And then on Monday, it'll be my birthday. Be doing the Power Rangers.
At 2.
Followed by the Dads, Not Always on Wrestling. Top 10 SummerSlam title changes. All Super Chats donations collected that day will go to me for my birthday. So save your money in advance. Don't spend them all on episode 200 of the review. You know, throw some out there to the other people. You know, got to super chat them too, but try to save a few bucks to throw our way in a week for my birthday.
Well, just figure like this. We've got your birthday to save for next week. No DQ Review 200 this week. And if Greg's channel hits their milestone by the end of August, he's doing that 10-match or whatever it is gauntlet to defend the WTC Championship. So y'all have been, itching for a title shot or, wanting to get that money out there to a good cause. His birthday, no DQ support, and Greg defending the damn championship. I can't think of a better thing for wrestling fans to have, personally.
There we go.
So there it is. All right, I think we're done now. Jesus.
And the
we're done.
SummerSlam show is going to be interesting because unlike normal where I go first and Jeff brings it home, since it is my birthday, Jeff is going to go first and I'm going to bring it home for this episode. It should be fun.
It should. I'm looking forward to it, as I know everybody else is. So please check it out next Monday. But check out everything between now and then. And we're only about 7 minutes in for you East Coast folks. So go enjoy Monday Night Raw. Like it's not going to be Rollins. Again, thank you all for watching. Everybody stuck with it for the full hour and plus. And he is the Renegade J.J. Williams, almost the birthday boy. I am the Meachamaniac brother, Jeff Meacham. We are the Dads, Not Always on Wrestling, and we will see you guys back here next time.